All right, we are live. All right, guys, what is up, fellow bench warmers? Welcome to your live daily fantasy week. Hey, guys, good evening. First live session for the season. We really tried to squeeze it in because we really wanted once a week live session. So hopefully this starts a trend. We did it on a Sunday today because it was a busy week for us. So hopefully next week we'll do it on a weekday, probably a Thursday or a Friday. Anyway, Komish, welcome to a live quickie.
Hi everybody.
And let's talk about the games today. Probably some recap of the games as we wait for some of the followers to tune in or to send in their questions to us. So today, 3 players return: Chuma Okiki, Caris LeVert, Cade Cunningham, the 3 C's.
The 3 C's.
Chuma. As we are talking about this, you can send in your questions in the chat, in the comment section, and then we'll try to answer them for you. Chuma Okiki, insignificant contribution. He looks slow. He doesn't. He doesn't look 100% yet, I guess.
Maybe because the injury, the whole off season, I don't think he was able to really train. So the important part is not how he performs. I think the important part is how many minutes he plays, because they're also invested in Chuma. They want to develop him also, so he can play small forward, power forward. But of course, if he plays power forward, then Bamba, who's starting at power forward, will have to play some center because he's gonna lose some minutes to Okiki. So if he goes center, then Wendell Carter Jr. will be affected. Today, Wendell Carter Jr. only had 16 minutes. So that's something to monitor, because Okiki only had 12 or 13 minutes, and then Wendell already got 16. So let's see. Because another player, Franz Wagner, is the guy that people are saying will be dropped in waiver wires when Okiki comes back. I don't see that as necessarily.
He's been playing really well. Franz Wagner.
Yeah.
Fantasy-wise, he's been very, very relevant as well.
And he's a higher pick than Okiki. So, and generally, he's been better than Okiki also. So I don't think that the Magic will just decide to put him put it on the bench for Okiki. So it's not a given that Wagner will be dropped eventually, or will go to the bench, or is sure drop soon. I think if any, Wagner will be the one who will remain starting, and Okiki will remain off the bench, I think.
And another player who is, who many expect to return as well this year would be Jonathan Isaac, who also plays the power forward position.
Now, if Isaac comes back, that would be tougher. For sure, Bamba will be affected. For sure, Wagner will be affected already by that time. But I have no news about Isaac. I think at the very least December. I think December. Early. The earliest I think is December. I haven't heard him practice or anything, so that's still a long ways away, and we'll just cross the bridge when we get there, I guess.
Yeah, and LeVert played what, 15 minutes?
15, yeah. Minutes restriction.
He scored a lot. I mean, for 15 minutes of game, so that's probably a good sign. Another good sign is that Duarte somehow performed well. I think he had 15, 5, and 5 or something like that.
Well, if LeVert played 15 minutes, then that's insignificant right now. He's basically just took the minutes of Jeremy Lamb, basically, or O'Shea Brissett. So it didn't affect Duarte yet. And especially that LeVert almost played the whole 15 minutes in the first half. So Duarte had the whole second half to to perform. And you know that Duarte is getting a lot of minutes. So somebody has asked me, should you drop Duarte? Is he already a drop? Is he going to be a top 100? It's hard to say, but I think even if Brogdon comes back, yes, Duarte will be affected, but I think he will still get the minutes. I still think he will get the minutes, but he will not get the usage, the number of attempts. He won't get that much. Top 100.
He won't get that
possible.
much. He won't get that much attempts, but I wouldn't be surprised if there would be games wherein they'll allow him or let him shoot.
Yeah,
because I think they've given him some freedom to take shots or to take attempts, right?
The guy who I think is really affected is TJ McConnell. If Brogdon right now, TJ is just okay, 7 assists today, no steals, so just so TJ line. But if he cannot get his game going while Brogdon is out, he's gonna have a hard time to be a hold in standard leagues. Because if Brogdon comes back, there's Levert, there's Duarte, there's Justin Holiday, and then he's going to be off the bench. And with limited minutes, I do not think McConnell this year is a must-own in 12-team leagues. In 14 still, yes, but in 12-team, maybe not.
And he is also struggling. I mean,
yes, he's struggling.
Like we said last time, the shooting percentages of McConnell went down so far. It's not really good. Unlike before, the
steals
is above 50%, right? His percentage in field goal percentage is above 50%, but this year it's been pretty low.
And he has taken more attempts, but really the one that's gone is the steals. He has not been having a high steals rate yet this year. The assists is also down. Yeah. I don't know if it's the system or what.
Maybe it's a new system. Indiana is quite struggling a bit with the new coach, although it's a veteran coach, Rick Carlisle. So maybe it would take a little more time for them to gel. Lastly, returning Cade Cunningham before we dive into your comments and your questions. Cade Cunningham, the top pick in this year's rookie class.
Not a good start. I mean, yes, it's his first game, so we give him a little slack. But of course, even if it's his first game, all the rookies that are playing well right now in their first games, they played better. But remember, Cade is coming off an injury, so that's the difference. I think he's a buy low. I'm confident he's a buy low, and I've been trying to get him in some of the leagues that I'm in, because of course the manager has been waiting for him for so long. He's not gonna trade him yet when he's not playing yet. Now that he played his first game and played like that, manager might be nervous, might be panicking, or there's no historical basis to say that Cade is really good or he's gonna do this or he's gonna do that. So I think he's a buy low. I'll give him a pass because coming off an injury.
Yeah, just the first game. But
not much practice also.
I guess the only thing going for Cade is that they will give him that time. I mean, they will give him minutes. They would give him some, a leeway as he adjusts to the NBA life. He is in the same group as maybe Jalen Green.
Jalen Suggs.
Suggs is a little bit, they give him the playing time, but it's a crowded situation, right? There could be times wherein they play Cole Anthony more or RJ Hampton more, or when Markelle Fultz is back, we still don't know what happens there, right? So
that's true.
Unlike Jalen Green and Cade, those Suggs, Mobley, although their playing time is set right now, but we still don't know what happens in the future, right? I think Mobley is a little more set than Suggs. And another player who we still don't know the future of would be Scotty Barnes, of course, because of the return of Pascal Siakam, and also the usage might be, they might dial down on the usage.
Well, for Cade, the minutes will be there, but I think right now he's playing with Killian, and Killian is the point guard, whereas Cade really is a lead guard in the NBA. So it's just the first game, so there's not much sample size yet. But I think that's the big thing to monitor. Killian is droppable. He's not worth a roster spot in any league. Maybe 18 teams possible, but aside from that, no. But he's also been terrible in real life. If they are gonna give the ball to Cade Cunningham, the earlier that happens, the better it will be for Cade's fantasy value. Similar with Orlando, that was what we were thinking with Suggs and Cole Anthony. But Cole Anthony is different. Cole Anthony's been playing so well that it's the logical thing is let Cole Anthony continue what he's doing, and
and Suggs is not playing well. I mean, he's not shooting
exactly.
well. The only good thing about Suggs is that he can contribute in other categories. Unlike maybe a player like Jalen Green, who's more of a scoring
one-dimensional
guard, right? So I think that's what Suggs has that the other maybe some of the other. And if you look at the rookie class, those players who can contribute anywhere or in a different categories are the one excelling. Right? If you look at Scotty Barnes, he can rebound, he can pass, he can defend. Mobley is similar. Suggs, he is not shooting well, but he can give you a little bit of some of those rebounds and assists and steals.
He had a terrible game again shooting wise today. Suggs after yesterday.
He's forcing it. I watched some of the game, some of the shots. Really forced. I mean, I don't think he really needs to shoot. If he can just set up some of his teammates first and then let the game. I'm no expert, but that's how I observed it.
It plays with their minds, the rookies. Remember Markel Fultz before? It plays with their mind because as they are missing more and more and more shots, they want to get their groove, they want to get their rhythm. So they're trying too much. With Suggs, it's really bad. It's not even 30%. So that's really,
I think.
It's really, really bad. But as I said, if he just can make it to 40%, he would be almost similar to Marcus Smart, in my opinion. If he could just make it to 40% or even 38.
Possibly,
even 38.
Could be possibly better in a way that, I think some of the rebounds and the assists are a little higher could get higher than Marcus Smart's.
I don't think he'll be higher than Smart this year. No. I don't believe that. But the potential, yes. The potential he could be better than Smart eventually along the way. But I mean, the kind of fantasy impact he could have would be like Marcus Smart. But if he's going to shoot 28, 29% continuously and then attempt 10, 12, 13 shots, he's not. It's tough to roster him. It's tough to roster him if he's going to do that. But I'm confident he's not going to shoot 28, 29% the rest of the season. I think it's gonna go up. It's gonna go up to at least 38 to 40%. Still bad, but I mean that's better, and you can hold him there.
Yeah.
If he's 38 to 40.
Let's get to some questions. We've got a lot already. Shout out to Jeff Arce, Joseph Crisostomo, of course, Irvin Leo Villanueva watching, Pablo Escape, Rex Arthur, Paulo Sumera, Aldrich Trinidad, good evening. John Michael Penolio. Okay, first question from Mike Motomac. Morant, hold or sell high?
Sell high. For me, sell high. I've seen Morant.
What level?
I've seen Morant Lillard questions. Although, I know Lillard is struggling. I know Lillard has that injury rumor and injury whatever. But still, the fact that it's a question whether it's Lillard or Morant shows how high Morant's value is right now. So for me, he's a sell. If you can get as high as Lillard Lillard is already first round. I don't think you can get Paul George for Morant. I don't think you can get Steph Curry for Morant. So logically, it's Harden, it's Lillard, it's Beal, right? Or even Jimmy Butler. These are the guys that you can, in the next tier of guards that maybe you can target. So if you can get that high, yes. Now if you're gonna tell me, well, still at those levels, Anthony Davis,
Actually,
I would not
Anthony Davis could be a good, not really a good target, but if you're looking for a big, most likely the Anthony Davis owner it won't be difficult to convince him to sell Anthony Davis now.
Actually, I don't know. Yes, he's injury risk, but he's been playing well, and
Yep.
it's tough to it's his, that's the first rounder of your trade partner. So he's not going to give up. It's a center. So I'm not suggesting you to go for centers because it's really, really, really hard
To
to
get
get
them.
centers for a point guard.
Yep.
It's tough to swap. So I'm just thinking of guards. But if you want the centers, um, Bam, Bam is one. I mean, that's more realistic. I think
Yeah.
Bam Adebayo. Although, of
Vucevic,
course,
maybe.
we Vucevic. Of course, we know their problems this year, but Sabonis,
Yeah.
maybe. Now, if you're talking about like the Randall, the level of Randall down, I might you might think twice because Jai is playing so well. He could be
Yeah.
a top 40. I think Randall could be also a top 30. The difference is not that far anymore. So if you want to sell high, as in really high, top
But
20.
usually in the real fantasy sense, right? You don't trade a 1-to-1 uh, deal, right?
Yeah.
You don't make
Yeah.
a Jamoran for Lillard straight up deal. You usually add another player there, who's maybe a lower end player. That's how deal. That's how these types of sell high packages work, right? It doesn't show you on the surface that you're really selling high because you're adding other packages in there that could make it look like you're giving up too much, right?
Usually it's like that, but it's a very special situation with Lillard this year. Uh, I mean, it's a exact situation. Low, buy low, and then sell high. So they meet. And I've seen Lillard and Jamorant one-on-one trades. But yeah, if you want to add some
Yeah.
other players to to get let's say a Harden, you can do that. You can do that
Yeah.
right now.
All right, let's move on. So yeah, you can sell high on
You
Morant.
should sell
You
high on
should
Ja.
sell high on Morant
You
according
should.
to
You
Kunish.
should.
My personal take is yeah, if you can, but I have this belief that Morant can sustain it. Uh, this run. I mean, not maybe top 20, but top 30. Yes, possible. And
Exactly.
if he does that, I just feel that's a really good. That's a really successful draft already. I mean, you moved up. One player moved up in the ranks already. So I think if that fits your team, then well and good. It might, sometimes I don't want, especially if you're winning, sometimes I don't want to break something that's already working.
But it's like this. You said top 30. I agree with you. It's not he's number 5, 6, 7, something like that right now. He's not gonna sustain that. He's gonna go down to 30
Yeah.
to 40, around that range. So if you can get a Harden or a first rounder, then your top 50 guy or top 50th, 60th pick guy becomes 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th. So
True.
that's how you win. That's how you win. Because unless you tell me that Ja Morant will be a top 10 pick for the rest of the season, then you don't sell high. But I think all of us agree that he's not a top 10 pick for the rest of the
He
season.
probably won't. Yeah.
Yes.
All
So
right.
and lastly, if you cannot get Harden, you cannot get Lillard, you cannot get Butler, you cannot get all these guys. Do not force yourself to sell just because you need to sell.
Yep.
If you cannot get those guys, then just stick with Ja and just
If you don't get a good deal, if you because
don't
like I told you, you won't get it on a one-on-one deal, right? So
yeah.
most likely the Lillard owner would ask for someone else, and that someone else could be the deal breaker, right? Could be nope,
Yes.
that's too much. It's
Yes.
really not Ja Morant who's gonna be the deal breaker. It's the other person that the Lillard owner would want. That could be the deal breaker. So you don't really have to force it.
Yes. It's
Yeah.
easy to talk about these stuff because
It's
it's
easy to say
theoretical.
sell high,
Yes.
but in reality,
reality-
especially in a league we're in, managers are veterans out there. They know what you're doing.
Yes.
They know that you're selling high on this, and
Yes.
they won't. It's not. We were, Joe and I were just talking about it. People, experienced managers know what you're doing, so it's not like easy to sell players like that in a very competitive league. So yeah.
Agree.
Next question. Chuma Okiki. Is he an ad for an 18-team league?
Yes. Yes.
18 team, yes. 12 team, maybe not. 14, that's for me. 14, I'm still iffy on the 14 because I have him in one league in the 14 team league, and we still have to see how he performs.
I'm adding him if you're in the 14 and up league. For sure. 16, 18, 20, definitely add. 14, yes, 50-50, but I'm still leaning towards adding him. In 14 teams, 13 roster spots, that's around 170, 180 players.
Yeah.
I doubt you can get a player with Chuma's upside.
In 18, I have him in an 18 team league. There's really no one there that you can pick up.
Yes. He's a must add. Except standard leagues, 18, 10 team, 12 team, no.
Yeah. So that's a question by Carl Lau. Johan Brillo is watching. Norman Giller Cantos Fampo. New names here I'm seeing, so that's really nice. What to do with Kristaps? Question by Art De Los Santos.
That's a good question because I also have Kristaps. What to do with Kristaps? I've been trying to sell him. I know it's hard because he's injured right now, but there's only two things. You can just put him in your IL, or while he's in IL, try to sell him. Now, how do you sell him? I almost had a deal with Kristaps for Michael Porter Jr. because remember, Kristaps is still a center. So there's still value in that he's a center power forward guy. So I'm looking for maybe selling low, but also finding some upside in the player I will get. So I targeted Michael Porter Jr. first, but my trade partner backed out at the last minute. But he was thinking about it. So at least in my mind, that's a deal close. That's a deal that in your leagues maybe can work. In your leagues maybe can work. I have no other players that I can think of that is realistic right now for Kristaps. Miles Bridges is another. Actually, I'm gonna go with Miles Bridges, Harrison Barnes. Those players are maybe the players you can get. So if you're confident in those players sustaining what they're doing right now, we can
not just sustaining, but maybe top 50. Yeah, because Miles Bridges, we are sure he cannot sustain it.
Yes.
Right? So he is top 1, top 5, top 3 now, I think.
He's number 1.
Yep. So I don't think he's going to sustain it, and no one believes he's going to sustain it. And the chances are he won't. So I think top 50 is his best upside. That's good enough.
If you yes, that's correct. If you believe that he's top 50, Barnes is also top 50, then go and look and try to offer Kristaps for both of these guys. Those are the realistic guys, I think. People, because the trading partner you have will think, oh, I'm selling high on Miles Bridges.
Yep.
I'm gonna get a top 40 player like Kristaps.
Yep.
So that's your ticket to getting rid of Kristaps.
Yep. And the positional thing can also be an factor. Like look for teams who lack centers.
Yes.
Then you can offer it to them, depending, of course, on who they have. So that was a question by Art De Los Santos. Hope that helped. Pablo Escape. I have Vooch and I'm punting rebounds. Who's the guard do you suggest I can target?
Vooch. Okay. Punting
the challenge
rebounds.
There in that group, in that second round, there's really not much. Chris Paul, maybe?
Chris Paul, Donovan, actually. Donovan is okay rebounder, but his value is really with the points and durability.
Or maybe you can do a 2-for-1 thing, like a Tyrese package or a Alonzo package.
I generally would want
a second round as well.
If you're not really selling low or selling high on a player, just a needs based trade, I would not want a 2-for-1 in general. But if it's not, plus Vooch is not really a second rounder in my opinion this year. He's more of a third rounder. But his name value is second round. So it's tough to get 2-for-1 for him, that you get Lonzo and let's say Jalen, or Lonzo and OG for Vooch. It's hard. But if you can get that kind of a deal, yes, go ahead. But if you're just looking for one person, one-on-one,
I think Chris Paul,
Donovan, and LaMelo. But LaMelo,
like we said, LaMelo is hard to get.
plus he has a value. His rebounds is kind of one of his strengths.
Yeah.
So he doesn't fit your build that much.
Well, at least he has better assist rate. So,
but if you remove the rebounds in LaMelo's stat set, he's probably gonna go a little bit down. So I think better in the players we said, Chris Paul and Donovan. I think Donovan might be easy to get.
In that group, actually, there's really not much assist guys there.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah. Not much. But he's just wanting rebounds. He didn't say that he wanted assists. So
no, that can help me in assists and steals.
Okay. That's Donovan and Chris Paul.
Yeah, Donovan and Chris Paul. Norman, that was a question by Paulo Escape. Norman Giler Cantos Fampo. It's a long name. Keldon Johnson, worth to pick. 9-cat league. Yeah, 14 team. Yes. Up.
Pick as in draft pick or pick up?
I think pick up.
Yeah.
Actually, it's weird to see a Keldon Johnson in your waiver. Because if you're if you are a very shallow league, that's maybe not.
I'm not a fan of Keldon. You all know that. He's really just a points, rebounds guy. Doesn't have much steals, three pointers. So, but he should not be in waiver wires if it's a 14-team league.
Yep.
So at the very least, he could be your second to the last or third to the last player. That would be great because he still is top 140, 130 player, I think. Category leagues. If it's points league, then that's different. Points league is much more valuable. But in category head-to-head league, in roto leagues, not as valuable. I think people are so obsessed with the points and rebounds, but he doesn't do much else.
It's a 9-cat league, but you didn't let us know how many teams are there because that's also a factor on how many teams are playing. Jeff Arce, should I drop Duarte and stream Bazemore? No. Currently on close match up, down 40 fantasy points. It's a points league.
Even if it's a points league.
Yeah, I think Duarte's game also fits a points league. I mean,
no, because maybe Duarte doesn't have a game anymore tomorrow.
Yeah.
Maybe he wants to. Well, the point is,
it's a 14 team. If you drop Duarte now, you won't be able to get.
You won't get him back, and then Bazemore do you think he's gonna give you really substantial?
40 points?
Possibly. I mean, what are the odds?
No, maybe he has other players.
But still, I don't want to look at it just now. I'm looking at it in the bigger picture.
Yeah. Maybe it's just a scheduling thing for you, or maybe
if this is
tweak the other players, or maybe you just had an unlucky week.
If this is week 19, 18, the last week, or playoff
fighting
already
for survival,
fighting for playoffs, I would. But week 2, too early to do things like that.
So that's the answer for Jeff Arce. Angel John Maria, thoughts on MPJ? Denver does the same. We've talked a lot of MPJ.
He had a better game today. I mean, he had rebounds. So at least there's that. 7 points, still bad. Cannot shoot. Cannot really make his shots. Not cannot shoot. Cannot make his shots. But I've been trying my best to get him. But maybe I'm trying to buy him too low, so I cannot get the deal yet. But if you have the right deal, I'm still gonna go for MPJ.
To Angel John Maria, the logical step here is to just be patient with him because he's probably your second round pick.
True.
But if you're really fed up, just try to see what's on the market and how, maybe you see a good deal out there. Because not everyone would probably buy low, right? Similar to, it could be the other way around. Like, you are selling a player who's not performing, but you really don't know how other managers perceive that player, how high they perceive him, right? So you can shop around. That doesn't mean you're gonna trade him. You just want to know what the market is for him, and just treat it just like the NBA, right? like the Ben Simmons thing. If you don't like it, then don't pull the trigger, right? But you test what the market is for him. If you are
But
really fed up,
since you're an owner of MPJ, just manage your expectations.
yep,
To
you won't.
that's my advice. Don't think that he's a second round pick. Don't think that he's your second round pick.
Yep.
At the very least, at the most, I think he's more of a late third.
Yeah.
Maybe mid third, maybe 29, 30 at pick. Around that range is the correct range of MPJ. So
Yeah,
don't
but
if
he's
you pick
still far off from that right now. So yeah,
yeah, but he will
if
get to 50. He will get to 50.
yeah, if he
Don't
starts
worry.
stringing up some good games, then that might be the start of something. Is in moving up in terms of rankings. So yeah, just be patient, or you just test the market and see how that goes. Tristan Rosario is watching. George Santa Ana is watching. Jeff R says, should I? Okay. Rondell Brigino, thoughts on Love? Must roster in a 14-team league. Can he keep it up or no?
Not a mass roster.
Stream.
But
Streamer.
not a bad player to own. I mean, if you're really down with so many injuries, if you're really out,
But I haven't really seen much Kevin Love in the waiver of the 14-team leagues.
Yes.
So I would say, based from that, he is not really a must own, but he is being owned.
And not a bad
14
own.
team. Yeah.
Not a bad hold in 14 team, but he's not must own. Meaning, if you have better options,
Yeah,
then it's okay to drop.
If a player has been dropped, right? A better player has been dropped, then you can just drop Kevin Love as well. Roel Almuete is watching. Reginald C. Sell high on Hero. There was a sell high trade on Hero. I just couldn't remember just recently. I forgot what that was, but in one of the leagues. But sell high on Hero.
Yes. Sell high on Hero. If you can get top 80 player, then you sell high on him. Like Norman Powell, I keep on saying Norman Powell, but Norman Powell is really one player I think should be targeted because his value is low right now. But I'm pretty sure in 2 to 3 weeks or maybe a month, he's gonna be zooming unless he's injured. He's gonna be playing very well. He's always like that. So Norman Powell is one. But let's see. Sexton, I would not do that if it's Sexton because I'm sure that's the players you're looking at. Sexton is no. Maybe Garland, up to the level of Garland. Maybe if you can get him. Maybe Fournier. So those players for Hero.
There was a trade. This was a trade that happened a while ago, approved a while ago, but happened yesterday. It's for Terry Rozier.
Hero that one.
Terry Rozier.
That's a great deal.
Yep.
Rozier is kind of forgotten right now because of the ankle injury, but I like Rozier. I like Rozier over Tyler Hero.
Yeah. So yeah, that's another
player. Maybe you can get Mikal Bridges. Maybe you can get him. Maybe. I'm not saying you can do it, but maybe. Possible.
Why do I get the feeling that this one manager talked to you because it was offered? It was offered to no.
No.
I
don't.
There was an offer in one of the bench for FBW teams, Mikal Bridges for Tyler Hero. So
I don't know. I don't know about that offer. But just thinking out loud, Mikal is outside of top 100. Tyler Hero is inside 100, and I know that will switch.
And Tyler Hero is soon. Not again. I've been talking about this. He's not a difficult player to trade.
Yeah,
he is flashy and all of those things. Nice things. Kent Ives Tornilla. What can I get for Nickel Alexander Walker Duarte and Wendell Carter Jr.? Oh, this is hard. This is a hard question to answer, but because we can't really guarantee what you can get, right? But what's the equivalent?
Interestingly, I have Wendell and Nikhil in one of our leagues with Jeremy, and I actually have been offering him So I could answer this question because I haven't
Okay.
gotten any
So
person
what
to
were the
agree.
offers?
I tried to get Sengun and Norman Powell. I was rejected. I tried to aim too high. I tried to aim John Collins. 2 for 1. That did go. I tried to go Draymond Green. That didn't go.
I think the Norm Powell is possible for Duarte because we've seen it happen.
Yeah.
For Sengun, it should be if you are a win now manager, you don't mind.
That's what I'm thinking.
Don't mind selling Sengun for a player who is performing now. But again, he has very high upside, Sengun, I think. And that's why managers don't want to let him go. And in reality, the minutes he gets is really not that much to justify being rostered, I guess.
No. I think even in the limited minutes, he's
I mean,
already
in a standard.
Yeah, even in standard,
in a standard,
yeah.
12 team.
If you're looking at the minutes, yes, the minutes is too low, but the production is already there in the standard. Yeah. Maybe low level situation, but still it's already there. And I think one more month, maybe December, you'll not be able to get Sengun for cheap, for sure. Now,
for sure. I mean, right now you won't be able to get him for cheap. I mean, right now
depends on your league. But depends on your
he's
league.
A center as well, so it's not easy to.
In our leagues, the managers are kind of old already. No, they're old already, so they know if you're pulling something.
They're experienced enough to know.
They're bulking and old and veterans already, so it's tough. Yeah. But maybe Nickeil Alexander-Walker has value still. I think if let's say Gafford, Gafford is injured, but if I offer Nickeil for Gafford, I'm going to get that. And I've already tried it, but I've not pulled the trigger because I'm not sure about Gafford yet because of Thomas Bryant. So I'm thinking about it. But that one, Nickeil Alexander for Gafford. Wendell Carter, if you add him, sometimes you can get Isaiah Stewart and somebody. That's also possible. Wendell Carter, Isaiah Stewart.
There's another trade that was submitted today. Wendell Carter Jr.
Robert Covington, another player. He's been struggling, but I feel his value is going to be higher than Wendell Carter when it's all said and done because he's more safe, fixed minutes, fixed position, safe starter. Yes, up and down, not much, points, but the steals, the blocks.
Okay, so here's the trade that happened. Just submitted this a while ago. 640. It's exactly Chris Duarte and Wendell Carter Jr. for RJ Barrett and Montrezl Harrell.
Okay. Wendell Carter and Nickeil Alexander.
No, Wendell Carter and Duarte. For RJ Barrett and Harrell. Not really a sell high type of trade.
Yes. I guess the Barrett and Harrell person was trying to sell high in a sense that I want someone like
who has a sure minutes.
Yeah. Yes. Right? I think that was his thing. What he was.
Oh, are you okay?
Sorry. Yeah.
I thought you fell off your chair. But that's one trade that managers accepted. So just to level some of your expectations, that might be something that you could also get.
Harrell you can get. Yes. Harrell you can get with this combo. Yeah. If you prefer Harrell or Wendell Carter, I personally prefer Wendell Carter Jr. over Harrell, but it's close. So it's a matter of preference for you guys.
I think the only thing that's really giving Harrell the question mark is Thomas Bryant and Gafford.
Yes.
I mean, that rotation,
that's
putting a question mark. But
yes.
If that's sorted out, I feel that Harrell would be better pick.
But Wendell Carter also is the same situation. I mean, Isaac, Bamba, Kiki. So it's the same situation. But I just feel that Wendell Carter Jr.
will be showcased more.
Yeah.
Will be played
I think
more,
so.
Minutes wise.
So. And better fantasy wise.
Joseph Crisostomo, better outlook rest of the season, Lowry, Conley, or Kemba. The three old guys.
Sadly, I have all of them. Lowry, Kemba,
I think
and
Lowry is still
Conley.
Lowry,
Lowry.
Conley, and
Lowry.
Kemba. That's how I see it. Although there have been reports that Conley wouldn't play some back to backs or a lot of back to
He did
backs.
not play today in a back-to-back. He
Yeah.
was rested already.
So
So
that's like I read somewhere that it's gonna be 17 games. He's gonna miss around 17 games because of that.
I'm Lowry, Kemba, and Conley because of what you said. Conley's not gonna play back-to-back, and that's a big deal. For me, Lowry is clear number one there. Lowry is clear number one.
George Santa Ana asking, aside from Giddy, who do you think will be solid pickup in OKC in the second half of the season?
We mentioned Jeremiah Robinson Earl. He started today again, and then
but it's too early a pickup. Not really.
Yeah, it's too early. He said second half, so I think
if you're thinking about picking him up now, there's really not much there.
Yes, but you have to monitor the situation because, as I said, he started today, and then he started today. The difference there is that Favors and Roby were not rested. They came off the bench, so I don't know if that's gonna be permanent or not. You just have to monitor. Another player, Treyman is in the G League right now, but when the second half of the season comes, he's a first round pick also of OKC. He's a good scorer. He's a really good player. I think he can be their sixth man when the second half of the season comes around. And lastly, maybe Poku, but I'm not too sure because he's already getting minutes anyway, but he's not really performing that much. But maybe Baisley will get rested or gets injured, maybe. So Poku comes out. But yeah, those three are the only ones, I think.
Yeah. Arc De La Luna. Quick question, sir. Should I trade Steph and D'Lo for Paul George and MPJ?
Steph and D'Lo for Paul George and MPJ. Steph and D'Lo, correct?
Yeah, 9-cat 12 team.
No.
So you're on the Steph side.
Yes. Steph side plus it's D'Lo. It's not some scrub that you added to Steph, right? So those are two solid players. So I think if you do that trade, for one, your assists will be decimated.
Yeah.
Your field goal shooting, will be equal. But 3 points, Steph, D'Lo is still better than Paul George and PJ. The only category maybe you're gonna lead there is steals, and
blocks, the defensive
a little blocks. Yeah.
Maybe the rebounding. Yeah.
But overall, it's hard to trade Steph. He's number 2, top 2, top 3 this year. So I'm gonna hold Steph.
All right.
I'm gonna hold Steph.
So yeah, better just hold it.
Hold Steph.
Aldrich Trinidad, who should I target if I trade Shea?
Well, same question to me because that's my question also. I've been trying to trade Shea.
So hard. Shea is one of the players.
Well, Joseph Crisostomo traded Shea for Lillard. Although we had Jarrett Allen. Plus Jarrett Allen. But still, that's the dream.
That's not the one of the that's one trade that's really hard to pull off. You probably won't find a lot of those managers who would be willing to do that.
If you want to be if you want negotiations to be faster, maybe OG. Because OG is okay, but he's not really,
also in trading, you have to sell the idea why they should trade you OG.
Yeah.
And why they should trade
that's
Shea,
easy.
Right?
OG, you could just say, Siakam, Barnes is overshadowing him.
No, but they will ask you, why are you getting him?
I want the steals. I want the rebounds.
I just need the steals. I don't need the scoring. Right.
Shea doesn't have much defensive stats, but the scoring is elite. You can get 29, 30 points.
And also make a case for the other team on why they need Shea.
And they're going to ask you about rest. They're going to ask you about rest. And the simple question is, what's the record of OKC? 1-5. Do they still need him to rest? I mean, by that last year, they needed him to rest because they were pretty decent until least But this
They were
year,
winning. They were
I
winning.
don't think that will be a problem. So we could answer that. Now, if that happens or not, I don't know. But OG, Jalen Brown, those two. I've tried Ant Edwards, didn't work. A lot of Anthony Edwards fans, so it didn't work. I doubt you can get Rashawn Holmes. I doubt you can get Jonas
I think for
Valanciunas.
Jalen, you wait a bit because he played another good game today. So
And he'll have a bad game the next game, so
yeah.
don't
So
worry.
I mean, timing of trades is also very important. Not
Yeah.
after a good game or really
Yeah.
good game, right? So you have to wait.
Try
Be more patient.
Donovan. Try
Yeah.
Donovan also. Well, Jaren Jackson, Kristaps, easy if you want more headaches.
Mike Motomac, Beef Stewart. Is he going to
Yeah.
get better or how much? He got better today. I mean, better line compared to past games. Unfortunately, Kelly Olynyk played way, way better. And he was not brought back in. Stewart was not brought back in at the latter part of the game. So,
Still a buy low. Still a buy low.
yeah, I think later on, they'll really give more usage to him. Give him more usage.
The season is still in the stage that, all coaches think they'll make the playoffs. We're at that stage that, hey, we're 0-4, but we won today because Olynyk played well. And, we're only 0-4 because Cade is injured.
Yep.
With Cade there, we're going to be a playoff team. They're still there. They're delusional. But when they're 2-10, 2-11, you'll see Stewart get more minutes. You'll see the development of the young players becoming more important. And that's when Stewart will.
I'm trying
really
the Duarte for Stewart thing.
Yeah.
I don't know if the manager's active enough to check it or I don't know. But yeah, buy low, Stewart. Buy low on that's Abel James Walhati is asking buy low on JJJ. Speaking of JJJ, another trade. There have been a lots of trade going on in fantasy bench.
Yeah, I'm curious what JJJ fetched.
But as I look for it, maybe you could answer the question.
The simple answer with JJJ is his shots were just not falling. 31% field goal. Yeah, he's a 3-point shooter basically right now. So you don't expect 50% shooting, but 31 is too low. I think it should be 40-42%. So there is a room for improvement in his rankings. But will I buy low? How low? If it's, let's say, Wendell Carter Jr. low, yeah, I will go. I will do that. If it's Isaiah Stewart for JJJ, yes, I'll do that also. But if it's not too low, maybe not. So it has to be low enough. Maybe if I get him for only a top 100 guy, maybe a 110, 108, something like that. Let's say Al Horford, I kind of like Al Horford better than JJJ.
Because he contributes a lot, as you can already see. But the trade that happened and was approved a while ago was George Hill and Chris Middleton for JJJ and Kyle Lowry.
Interesting. JJJ and Kyle Lowry, two struggling players.
Until today. Well, today
JJJ is still struggling. Yeah, JJJ is still struggling.
Yep.
That's a 2-for-1 basically.
Yeah. The George Hill is pretty much useless. You'll probably drop him when Drew comes back.
Yes. I think that deal is okay.
That deal is okay. It's fair enough. It wasn't really a buy low thing, or there was really
no. It's not a buy low.
No buy low or sell high here. It was just, I think, them agreeing that they wanted the players.
Yes, so, I'd like Chris Middleton more in that deal. I like Chris Middleton more.
So there. Next question. So that's the Highland for 14 teams by Benedict Lacanilaw.
Not yet.
Still too early. He's not getting minutes. I mean, he's getting...
He got minutes today. He played well today.
But he had 8 points, I think, right?
Yeah, but the Highland has a lot of fans also because he's a rookie. and he's
And he
exciting.
played well last preseason. I think that's one
Yes.
factor that's affecting the fans. He played well, so people think that when it comes, he should be playing. He should be playing more
He
because he
should.
played well.
He should be playing more. The players he's competing against is Campazzo and Austin Rivers, so he should be playing more. But
And
it's
maybe
Mike Malone.
Monte.
Yeah, but I mean, it's Mike Malone. Mike Malone is not known to play young players.
Yeah.
So, you have 14 team. It's still too shallow of a league to get Highland, who's not even sure to play every game.
Yeah.
At this
Maybe
point,
an 18 to 20 team.
yeah, at this point, you can wait for a couple more games before you pick him up. If he
Just
really
put him in your watch
sticks.
list or something.
Yeah,
Just
if he really sticks
keep an eye
in the
on him.
rotation.
Christian C is watching. Anthony Luis Alba is watching from Italy. Jovens Clarence Limbo is also watching. Martin Regala. Mitchell Pardilla is watching. Pres Leonardo, is Gafford a hold for a 14 team? Yes.
Do not drop him, please.
Do not drop Gafford.
Please do not drop Gafford. And the report on Gafford is progressing well.
Yep.
The injury is progressing well. So good news.
Yeah. Jovens Clarence Limbo projection for Darius Baisley. I've learned my lesson on Darius Baisley last year.
Darius Baisley.
You'll get frustrated with the field goal percentages, the inconsistencies, the turnovers. Well, pretty much anything you don't like about KPJ, you probably don't like about Darius Baisley. Unfortunately, Darius Baisley doesn't contribute as much as KPJ in other games.
But Baisley does have games like the game the other day where he had, I don't know, 20 points. And
yeah,
then
he has some good games. I mean,
he has good games here and there.
Exactly similar with KPJ.
KPJ.
Right? You're annoyed with the turnovers, the bad field goal.
And he's not good. I mean, he's not really good. If you watch him, he's not good. He just has the opportunity because, well, his team is bad.
He's playing
time. His team is bad. But he's a second round pick who's not really shown that he's really, really good or worth the starting position. So
the projection is not good.
Yes, if I'm gonna bet on someone, I want to bet on someone that really is really talented. I mean, not only fantasy-wise in the.
But I guess don't get this wrong. I think you would still roster him in a 14 team, right?
I won't. I won't. I did not even pick him up in a 17 team Roto league, but it's Roto. So I don't know if you're punting some
Roto he is going to be difficult in Roto. You'll play the guessing game with him when it comes to Roto.
I see him in waiver wires in 14 team leagues. I've seen him in waiver wires, and
because I haven't seen one in the waiver wires. So
I think 2 or 3. I've seen him in there 2 or 3. But as I said, if your team build is okay, like someone asked me about KPJ's punting, turnovers, and field goal, but someone is offering him, I think, Duarte and some 2-for-1 deal for KPJ. But he's holding KPJ and he's already punting, field goal, and turnover. I told him, well, if you're punting, field goal, and turnover, he said he has Westbrook already. So if you have Westbrook and KPJ, I mean, that's kind of okay with your build. Yeah. So same with Baisley. Maybe you have Westbrook, maybe you have KPJ, then maybe you have Jalen Suggs, then you have Baisley, then, those players will complement each other.
Yeah,
they will complement each other because you'll be punting field goals anyway. You lose it every week. So yes, in some cases, I don't know the person who asked the question how his team is, but he has to look at his
projection.
Team.
So it's outside, definitely outside 100,
150,
maybe outside 150.
Outside 150, I think so.
Should I drop for Kent Ives Tornilla? Should I drop Vanderbilt for Tad Young?
No.
Did Tad Young play?
Yes, he played today. He played today 15 minutes. He was solid, but as we know, I don't know what will change in San Antonio. He's not been part of their plans. If he gets traded, maybe you do that. But if he stays in San Antonio, it's tough to depend on him.
Noel Nin is watching. George Santana is asking a question. To me, aside from being the other half of FBW doing usual, how the heck do I manage 18 leagues? I
good question.
I have a system. So like I told you, I have a system. Every 3 o'clock I check my lineups. That's it. Fortunately, this season I drafted well. So my FBW teams, I don't add as much players. I don't entertain too much trades because my players are okay. My team is doing well. So I'm not big into trading as much because it takes a lot of time. And then I have my priority leagues, right? So so there. I think there's only one league that I'm very worried about, and that's the Invitational League. And I think Commish knows this, and a lot of the managers, some of the managers I've been talking with in the Invitational League knows this, like Joao. Yeah, that's the only problematic league for me so far.
Jeremy is killing it, guys.
No, not yet.
There are other leagues where he's 8-1 and then
No.
this week he's 7-2. So he's 15 and
That's
3.
the Champions
15 and
League.
3 after
I think
2 weeks.
I'm
Yeah.
getting
Not only
lucky in the
Champions League,
League.
in our own league, in our high school friends league, he's also killing it. He's also number 1 or number
No.
2. So
No, not
this
yet,
year
not yet. It's
might
too
be the year
early.
of Jeremy.
Too early.
But
Too early. But there are leagues that I really want to win this year.
But that's a good question because I'm thinking of that. I've seen Jeremy's teams, and Jeremy's teams are really strong. And I think having so many leagues have actually helped him because he drafts every day.
Yeah, actually,
Real
that's
drafts.
true. That's true.
Real drafts. It's not mock drafts. Real
I didn't
drafts. So,
do mock drafts, so that's why the teams that I have at the latter part are better than the ones in the earlier ones. Like the invitationals, we did it like October 7th. That's a third draft. So the practice hasn't been there yet. Before that league, I only had one draft. So I feel that as we progressed every day during those times, it got better.
And
because I knew already who were the players that were going to be drafted within that tier.
And you have to follow your own analysis, your own gut. Like Jeremy already said that he likes Miles Bridges before the season started. Not a lot of experts were high on Miles Bridges, but it doesn't mean that an expert is not high or saying this guy's a sleeper or must draft, that he's not a must draft. It depends on how you look or see the player. Because all of us, we're not really one is better than the other in analyzing or looking at the person. You have your own reasons for doing things. So if you really believe in it, I think you should follow your gut.
Yep, and the rankings are helpful. Like where they are being drafted, that's where you really see which player. Like the Miles one was, the way I see it is just too low. He was being drafted too low, way too low. Sometimes after PJ Washington, which I felt was really not as good.
It's as simple as this. If you see ESPN's rankings, if you see Yahoo's rankings, if you see Fantrax rankings, they're all over the place. And all of the people who do the rankings are experts, so to speak. So if experts can get it so wrong or so different, right? What makes it, so reliable? So you just have to follow your own feeling.
And even, Eric Ong told us after the invitationals that every person has their own rankings, should have their own rankings.
Should have their own rankings.
The Yahoo rankings are there just to guide you a bit, but at the end of the day, it's you who will have your own rankings. Of course, you will remove some players there who you don't like, probably. So, right? I mean, like the Kyries and the
for instance,
and the Westbrooks.
Bamba. Yeah, Bamba. Bamba was ranked already high because of the preseason, but he was not ranked all the way top 100.
Yep.
He was ranked
a lot of Bamba as well.
110, 112, and then Wendell Carter Jr. was ranked 93, 94, 90. But if you look at it, even at that time in the preseason, Bamba should have been picked higher than Wendell Carter Jr. I mean, it was there all along. I mean, the blocks, the 3 points, everything was there all along. But still, Yahoo was so stubborn in changing that rank until the very, 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 very last moment, a day before the start of the season, when they made Bamba 99 and they made Wendell Carter Jr. 100. That was too late already. Yeah. So like that, that's obvious that you have to pick Bamba over Wendell Carter Jr. Right? But Yahoo doesn't say so.
not too obvious, but last year's end. I usually sometimes based it on how they end the year, and
Yes,
if they
that's a
can,
good. That's a good.
get the same opportunity
Yes,
this year, then that should be a good gauge. So that's how I
Miles
usually
Bridges and Bamba, both of them ended last year super
super
good.
good. Yeah,
Yeah.
really good. Yeah. So that's how I manage my league. I have priorities, and we need to draft well. Who are you not currently mentioned hyped in the moment, but in your must monitor to pick up? Must monitor to pick up in tanking teams. Maybe under the radar right now, but could be a good pickup. James Robinson Earl, right? Is it James Robinson Earl? It's
Jeremiah.
Jeremiah Robinson.
Jeremiah Robinson. Who are the tanking teams? Houston, of course, Sengun, we know that.
KJ Martin.
KJ, maybe not as much, but I like Sengun. I like Tate in the second half of the season.
Armani Brooks.
Those players, those are just
those are the players last year that were unheard of, and then were
Who
very
else are the
useful.
tanking teams?
Detroit, Orlando, probably. Orlando is so deep. Like, they have so many players that can perform, but they're not gonna win.
Yeah, I have one that is not from a tanking team. Naz Reid.
Yeah, Naz Reid. I just picked up Naz Reid in the.
Actually,
Naz Reid is a good pick up if you have a really good team so far, because he can be a handcuff as well for your Karl Anthony Towns.
But if he just gets what Vanderbilt is getting, he the minutes, I mean, if he just gets a solid 20 minutes a game, he's really good. He's really good. But right now he's not getting
Remember,
it. So
I don't know if you know, but Naz Reid is part of the USA team pool.
Yeah, the select team.
Yes, the select team. So he's not, you don't just get there out of nowhere, right?
Another player in Detroit, he's not available in your waiver wire, but someone you can target in trades, like Sadiq Bey. Mm-hmm. Sadiq Bey, you can target him, especially later on the season. I think he's gonna be featured a lot in Detroit. So that's another one. I don't know who else are tanking. Not much tanking teams this year because there are a lot of surprises so far. So they haven't tanked yet.
All right. So Art De Los Santos asking, how's the Kevin Love that you drafted? You dropped him, right?
I dropped him right away. Even before the season started, I dropped him.
And you're not regretting it, right?
No.
No. Juan Rodrigo Barreda is asking about MPJ. We talked about MPJ, so you just scroll back later on. Martin Tolentino, who wins? Derek White and Shake Milton, or Reggie Jackson and Cole Anthony? Derek White, right?
Derek White.
Derek White is like a top 80 to top 70 type of player.
Well, because Cole Anthony is doing his best Derek White impression right now.
Without the defense, though.
Yeah, not much defense, yes. Derek White is basically going to give you one steal and one block at the point guard position.
Yep.
So the poor field goal, well, Cole Anthony is also poor field goal. Reggie Jackson is even worse. So it's not as if you're getting someone who's good in field goal. So yeah, the Derek White side.
So if you're asking, he is also asking if Cole Anthony and Reggie Jackson can sustain what they're doing. I don't think Reggie Jackson doing anything. Reggie Jackson doing anything. So if you're asking if he can sustain that, no, he probably have some better games. But in Cole Anthony's side, I don't think he's gonna be as good. This good throughout.
He's gonna cool off.
I don't think he's gonna sustain it, but I don't think as well that he's gonna be as bad as being a player that's gonna be dropped.
Yes,
I don't think he's gonna be dropped.
I agree. I think the rebounds, for the very least, the rebounds looks real. The strong rebounding. The 3 points maybe goes down a little bit. But the other counting stats, I think he can sustain it. As long as Fultz is not there yet. But when Fultz comes back, he's going to drop, I think. Yeah. I mean, depending on how Fultz is, how healthy he is, I still think the Magic...
When Fultz comes back, probably a lot of these guards will, fall back into the pecking order, as you say.
There might be a timeshare. I'm not saying pick up Fultz right now or stash him. It's up to you. But I'm not stashing him anywhere because I think coming off an ACL, this year would be
It's
a
not-
lost
yeah.
year for him. He's a year just to get back in shape. But even so, he's going to get 20 minutes at the very least. And that's 20 minutes less for Cole
For the
Anthony,
others,
Jalen
yeah.
Suggs. So there.
So that's by Martin Tolentino. Lorenzo Nelson Del Rio is watching. MR Villar, Papi, you're watching. Hi sa'yo. Alfred Labao is watching. Christian C. Can Miles Bridges continue his performance if Rozier returned? MPJ we talked about a lot, even in past podcasts, and I don't think anything has changed. Miles Bridges, can he sustain it?
Top 50, as we said. Top
Yeah.
50.
I
He's a
think
top 50 guy. Yeah.
Top 50 is very much realistic. I'm
Fourth
still a
round.
little more bullish. Like a top 40 is possible because of the percentages. If you can keep the
Yeah.
percentages up,
Yeah.
and continue those defensive stats, yeah. Even with Rozier there, I think late last year they had Rozier, and he still played well. So yeah, that's your gauge, or that's where you can look at it. Martin Tolentino. Wait, let me see. Best upside. George Hill, Tybull. Okay, these are too much. Too many.
George Hill is out for sure if it's
Alright,
upside.
Tybull, if you really need the steals and blocks, and you don't need anything else, he's the guy for you.
Great game today. I think Tybull in 14-team league can be rostered.
Yep.
I think.
Yep.
There's value
I
for
just
him there.
picked him up because he's
Yeah.
just so fun to watch as well on the defensive end. Okiki, 14 team,
I mean,
better than Tybull.
I'm Tybull. I'm
Alright.
Tybull at this point.
Let's do it. Let's just do it that way. Let's just compare two players and see where we. Noel, Nerlens, or Tybull.
I'm gonna go Noel. If he's healthy, he's always been questionable. He hasn't played. He's been killing me.
Yeah.
Noel is an underrated player. He can do as much as Tybull, what Tybull is doing, but he can do rebounds and
Yep.
other
he can
things.
score a bit. Yeah.
Yeah. Noel.
He can't ruin your field goal as well. Tybull can ruin your field goal if he doesn't get it going. I mean, the good thing about Tybull is he just gets 20 minutes. Royce O'Neal or Noel?
Noel.
Okay. Connaughton
is good right now, but I don't think he's gonna be like that if they're healthy. So Noel.
Portis is a question mark there. If Portis comes back,
Brooke, Drew, Dante DiVincenzo.
Yeah, but I think Dante is still far off from.
But eventually, I mean, if you're talking about upside, I think what I think, since it's upside question, what Pat Connaughton is doing right now, I think it's the peak.
Yep,
that's already the max of what he can do.
Okay, I'll nitpick the others because the rest I don't think they're high upside, like Eric Gordon, Lou Dort, Patrick Beverly. What you're getting now is probably what you're gonna get.
I rank that Pat Bev, and then Eric Gordon, then Lou Dort,
and then there's Ishmit. Ishmit is
now.
Damian Lee.
Damian Lee is interesting. Yeah, if you're talking about upside, maybe I'll pick him after Noel and after Tybull. And I mean, he's in the level of Tybull.
All right, Jordan Nora. Too far from the rotation, especially
upside. There is upside, but yeah, as we said, they're just missing players. When the players come back,
Devin Vassell.
Yeah, Devin Vassell, high upside player, but he's always up and down. But if you're talking about upside, really, he has the most upside, I believe, among the players you just mentioned.
Yeah, and the best opportunity as well.
But he hasn't done much with it, though.
So yeah, and Danny. No, let's not talk about Danny Green. All right. Wait, that's hard. All right, there's any advice on league without IL spot? Well,
we have one. Right?
We have one. Oh yeah, we have one.
Yeah,
but it's a 15 roster.
Yeah,
dynasty. Just if my personal rule of no IL leagues, if it's a very deep league, just keep one. one player.
One injured player. I
One
mean.
injured player is enough. Unless your team is really, really strong, you could hold two, but one player I think is enough.
And for me, if you're in a no IL team, the guy that you're stashing or is injured must be worth it.
Yep.
So must be someone worth it.
Like if you are holding on to a player like Chuma or Kiki, no, just drop
No.
him.
Even TJ Warren, no.
Players I'm talking about, who are
Isaac maybe.
Ben Simmons.
Isaac. Ben Simmons possibly, yes.
Ben Simmons is
Isaac,
now IL eligible. Kyrie. Those
level. But the others, no. Just let other people stash them if they want.
Or the Gaffords.
Gafford, yes, you can stash. Right. If you don't have another injured
players who you feel would be top 100, I think, just hold on to them.
Depends on the injury. Like Gafford is a short-term injury, so I will.
Don't hold players like Kawhi. There are some
Jamal Murray, Clay, even Clay. I'm not gonna hold him in the no IL.
Yeah. So that's the advice. Plumlee hurting me in free throw, drop or trade? Trade. Plumlee has value. Well, not good trade value, but he has value.
The questions are perfect for me. That's the same situation I have right now. Plumlee's hurting me in free throws. But I haven't offered him yet because I know the answer will be tough to hear. He doesn't have much trade value. So what I'm doing is adding him as +1. I'm adding him as +1. I'm trying to add a maybe hype player. I have Halliburton. I have Nikhil. I have Poole. I have Bane, who's very, very, popular right now. So I'm adding. If someone asks me if I can trade Halliburton, I say okay, but it should be Halliburton plus Plumlee when you give me. Maybe something like that. You cannot just tell someone, do you want Plumlee? They will say no.
No one wants Plumlee.
No.
There's a reason why he's been drafted outside 130, 140, 150.
Yeah.
He played well last year, right? I mean, he started really well last year. Even top 100. But right now, during the drafts, he really fell off. It's because no one really wanted him.
If he's really hurting your free throws too much, much, you can sit him. But if you really can't find any trade partners after a couple of weeks, so I want to drop him. I'm okay with that. If it's really, really, really hurting your free throws, and depends on who you would be able to pick up for him.
Yeah, to a team who's punting free throws. I'm sure, like a team with Giannis or a team with maybe Luka or Westbrook or Gobert, right? Yeah. Trade him to those teams. I'm sure they probably have some use for him.
But last thing, if you have Gafford in the FFA, just for instance, and then you can pick up Gafford, just let go of Plumlee.
Yeah,
let
others.
That's
a question by Christian C. Larry, Justin Clifford Lim is watching. Larry Tadena, Chris Luis Banado, Warren Uy is watching. Should I drop? We asked that already. Jeff Arce. Gio Olarte is watching. Do you think MPJ and PJ Wash will bounce back? Let's talk about PJ Wash. PJ Wash had a good game. I don't think it's a buy low for PJ Wash personally, because I'm not a big PJ Wash fan. I know he can contribute, but I just don't like the situation he is in.
But that's a good coming off the Plumlee question. If Plumlee has a good game, maybe you can try to get him for PJ Wash. I still like PJ Wash more than Plumlee, even if Plumlee is the starter over PJ Wash, because I'm 100% sure in a couple more weeks, not that PJ Wash will be the starter, but PJ Wash will be playing more minutes than Mason Plumlee eventually. So I think PJ Wash is a bounce back guy. I think.
So if you're asking if it's a good buy low, yes, it is a good buy low target.
For me, yeah.
But the low part is a little low as well. I mean, the offer would be different as well. Not the upper level buy low things. Is DeAndre Hunter a hold 14 team head-to-head cuts by Eli Espino?
Not a must.
Not a must hold. I don't think he's gonna be back to the old DeAndre Hunter.
Yes. Not a must drop also. Not a must hold, not a must drop. It depends on who you can replace him with. That's the thing I think.
Josh Hart.
Yeah. I can go with Josh Hart over DeAndre Hunter.
Yeah, because Josh Hart played today.
My problem with Hunter is the situation with Atlanta.
Yeah.
It's just tough. It's tough.
It's too deep. Atlanta's too deep. They can't play. They have to play. They still have to play Huerter. They still have to play Reddish. They still have to play Gallo. So I think they're too deep.
An injury happens to one of the starters, maybe Bogdan, maybe Reddish, then Hunter will become viable. So that's why it's not a must drop, because just one injury, I think he's gonna be back to his old self.
Besides, you probably drafted him really far, like 120, 130. So you don't expect much, right?
Yeah.
Unless you're really losing. How about Kawhi? Is there any update? No, don't pick Kawhi anymore. Probably
no
March,
update
April.
Yet.
No updates.
No update. Clippers, Kawhi. I'm not gonna give you updates, but no draft him. I don't draft him. Don't pick him.
Don't do anything with him. Thoughts on Bledsoe long term into the season? Bledsoe has
cooled
off.
I've seen Bledsoe in waiver wires. If it's a 14-team league, actually, I'm inclined to pick him up again. I think the starting position is there. Yes, he's not shooting well, not scoring well, but we know
this is typical Bledsoe. This is typical.
Yeah, we told
Bledsoe.
you that. I mean, steals will be there, and some assists here and there. Overall, he's a low-end 14-team league guy, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Standard leagues, no. 14, can add him.
Jonathan Isaac's return, we still don't know. The guess is December.
Yes, that's the guess. But he hasn't practiced
yet. The realistic,
probably
January.
But he's been out since
more than August. A year.
More than a year already. This is an ACL injury, so this is not an Achilles or whatever.
But this is also Jonathan Isaac. So.
But still, it's already 1 year and 2 months, 14 months.
This is Jonathan Isaac, and this is one of the most fragile players in the NBA.
I think January should be the.
I wouldn't be surprised if this is the next Jaren Jackson Jr. this year.
Possibly. Yes, actually, that's a good analogy. That's a good analogy.
Martin Tolentino, your question is too long. Just PM us. I got an offer, MPJ and GD for Middleton. I'll take Middleton.
Yeah, I'll take Middleton.
Middleton.
I'll take Middleton.
Thoughts on KPJ? How can I trade him? I don't think it's gonna be hard to trade MPJ. I think it's
KPJ. You said KPJ.
KPJ. Yeah.
It's hard to trade KPJ.
Is it?
Yeah, Kevin Porter. It's hard to trade Kevin Porter right now. His value is basically in the pits right now. But
where?
We talked about this. Find the team with
Westbrook and
the Suggs, the players. Look at the team that's field goal is already at a 43%, 42%. You can look at it in Yahoo. You can look at team stats, and can you look at the 14th or 12th or the bottom field goal team, and then sell him Kevin Porter Jr. That's what you should do.
Yep. Noel, that's by Noel Nin. Noel De Leon Alvier watching Charles Irvin. Zubac, Christian Seek, Zubac, Caruso, or Robinson Duarte. Duncan Robinson Duarte.
Zubac, Mitchell Caruso. Or Duncan?
Not clear. But yeah. Let's say it's Duncan.
There was someone who told me that he traded Zubac for Duncan or Duncan for Zubac. I don't know which way it is. And I told him, they're pretty similar, I guess. You just have to look for what you need, what your team needs. There's not much upside in Zubac. There's not much upside in Duncan. And who's the other one?
Caruso.
Caruso also.
There is some upside maybe in Duarte, but
the
situation is not as good. I think personally, I think right now I think Duarte's peak is this.
Yeah,
I don't see
but this
him,
is
scoring 20 points and doing 6 assists, 6 rebounds on a consistent basis. And
but yeah,
I think he has peaked already.
but
So
among the four of those, I think Duarte should be the guy that you you hold,
you
you
hold, yeah.
pick.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Clint Claritan, Caritan. This guy's from Cebu. He invited me to one of their leagues. Unfortunately, really couldn't handle more than what I have now. Uh, Alvin Carlo Bautista, Kyrie, droppable now by Norman Fampo.
If you have an IL, I don't know why you should drop him, but you know,
No, I have a league wherein we don't have IL plus. I'm holding on to him. If you're doing okay, then if your team is
if you're
winning,
Jeremy,
no, my team is not yet winning, but it's at least it's not lopsided. Yeah, so I'm holding.
there seems to be some
I
softening of
traded
the
Kemba, by the
stance.
way, for that.
There seems to be some softening in the Brooklyn Kyrie dynamic. There's I think maybe December, January, maybe this will be more clear.
Yeah,
You picked him. You picked him. You know it will take months. That's just what I.
yeah.
That's just what
And it's just been
I
2 weeks,
feel.
guys. It's just been 2 weeks.
Yes, you know it's gonna take months. So stick with it.
Uh, should I trade Duarte or now for maybe players like Powell? Yes,
Yeah,
Powell
I
is
will do
solid.
that.
I mean, Powell is
Yeah,
solid. I mean,
I will trade
top
now for Powell.
top 70, maybe 80. Powell,
Yes, 80. Yes,
right? So yeah, you can do that. Best guess on. Oh, okay, we answered that. Good evening. Ingram trade for who? Maybe Brandon
Brandon,
Ingram. Yep. Probably 30
Tobias.
wins. Possible shutdown, especially Zion not really ready to play with his huge size. I saw Zion. Oh my goodness.
Well, that's too far
Ingram
ahead.
trade.
Shut down Ingram. I mean, I don't think he's gonna be shut down, but still, that's what you believe in, so it's okay if you want to trade Ingram because of that. So
What can you get?
Tobias,
Yeah, those players.
Tobias, Middleton.
That's the usual players that's being discussed when someone asks questions to us.
You can easily get SGA for Ingram if you want, and
Two,
even
two,
Jaylen Brown.
but Jalen Brown, Anthony Edwards, maybe players like those.
Yes. You can get Anthony Edwards in some situations. Yes, you can
A
get Anthony
lot.
Edwards also.
Some managers are pretty high on what Ingram can bring fantasy wise, because he has some efficiency there. He can score. He can shoot threes. He can do other stuff as well. So
But my target if I'm trading Ingram is not those guys. It's Aiton and it's Rishon Holmes.
yeah,
If you really want to trade Ingram, I think your first attempt should be to do two guys, either Holmes or Aiton. If you can't get them, then you go to Jalen, Tobias,
yeah.
Middleton, and
Because
these
it's gonna be
guys.
hard to trade Ingram for, let's say, a Tobias, because they play the same position. They give out pretty much
Yeah.
similar stat sets, right?
Yes.
And we talked
Yes.
about this in past episodes. Usually when you trade for needs, and if this is a positional trade, if they're on the same position, why would I trade my Tobias for your Ingram if they're gonna give me the same things, right? So there you could consider that. All right. Hango is watching, Melvin Fermi is watching, Carlito Reyes, Leoj Leonor is watching. How many streaming spot is ideal? 14 teams points league. Just one. Usually
Well,
it's just one.
if you're unlimited
Moves.
you can do two. But if it's a 14-team league, I don't know how much players, what quality of players you're
Yeah.
streaming. I mean, if you're
If
streaming for the
you're
sake of
streaming
streaming,
2 to 3 players already, that means your team is not good.
yes. And by experience, if you're streaming 2 players a day, you're usually gonna lose.
Yep. That
Because
means you're gonna lose because the reason you're streaming is because you're trying to catch up every time. So that's not
unless it's a 10 team or 8
so what
team
you
league.
can do there, if you have more streaming spots than you like, go for some 2-for-1 trades. Trade one of your better players for maybe 2 players that are rosterable. I think those
don't do daily streams. Do weekly ones.
Yeah.
Where we always have our weekly analysis, like who has the best schedule, who has 4 game schedules, who has this, who has that. Just pick a player there and then maybe keep one roster spot for the daily one.
Yeah.
So that way it won't be as hard to stream and you'll still have some quality left.
Yep.
With your team.
All right. So we'll try to wrap up some of these quickly. Thoughts on Desmond Bain? Can he sustain it?
High.
Do you think top 40? Because he's right now top 40.
No. Not top 60.
Not top 40. I think the peak is top 60 to 70.
Yes, but I
think
don't
that's
think
possible. The way his efficiency is, I think that's possible. He's like a Norman Powell. I mean,
yes, I'm high, but I'm not top 60 high or top 40 high. Maybe Norman Powell is 80. 70 plus to 80.
70, 80.
And there's Dylan Brooks. So there would be some changes still with Memphis because Dylan hasn't played.
Yeah. So, and yep. Let's see. Justin Leaf is watching. John Nico Ferreras, Oliver Tionco. Between LMA, Rex Arthur asking, between LMA and Blake Griffin, who's better pick?
LMA.
Ben Simmons, no news. Again,
he's actually
working out.
He's actually in the facility already. So that's good. That's good news.
But I still don't think he's gonna play with Philly. So yeah, he has to be traded to play. I think that's a question by Paul Ko. Eli Espino, should I remain patient with Zubac and DeAndre Hunter in 14 team, or should I move on? Depending on who are you going to pick up, like we said. Zubac
in 14 team,
solid.
I think in 14 team you can be more patient. I don't know who you can pick up in the waivers.
But among those two, I think you have to be more patient with Zubac.
Right? Yes.
Because of the I think DeAndre Hunter situation is there's just too much there. So yeah.
Easier to replace Hunter also.
Yeah, just in case you really need to drop someone, right? Just in case you really need to drop someone. Paul Dunlao is watching. Thoughts on Rozier season long? Com already said something about Rozier. He really likes Rozier. I don't think he's gonna be top 30 like he was. Top 60 maybe.
Wherever he was picked in your leagues, around 60 to 70.
Yeah.
I mean 60s. I think not 70.
Maybe the floor
60s,
is around 80. The floor is around 80.
Yeah. It's just a bad start because of the health. If he gets himself healthy, then I think everything will be fine. I don't know how bad the ankle injury is, but I heard he's gonna play already tomorrow. So he's gonna play tomorrow already. So we'll find out. Let's see how healthy he is.
Just be patient, guys. These players, just the second week.
The timing of the injury is bad, but what can you do?
The timing because it's early in the season and all. But remember, they worked out early as well. I think Rozier had held some private workouts with his teammates. I'm not sure if you heard that news. Anyway, Sian Tan is watching. Sir Joey Villar is watching. Jingo is watching. Adref Santos, other possible trade for Kemba other than Kyrie. Someone is offering Sexton. I don't like Sexton's outlook. They've been playing.
Yeah, but Kemba, the injury risk is kind of high. So it's up to you. I would generally, if I'm offered Sexton for Kemba, maybe I'll go Sexton. Only because I'm pretty sure Kemba would be injured.
Miss some games,
anytime soon. So that's the only reason. But if I know he's gonna be healthy and both of them are healthy, I'm gonna go Kemba. Other possible trade targets for Kemba, Well, Lowry, the Lowrys, the Condis. Actually, Nikhil Alexander Walker can be a target.
So there. Jingo is asking, is Javonte Green or Troy Brown an ad? I think too early.
Green, if maybe this is a deep league.
Yeah.
If you're
Depending on the league.
choosing between the two of them, I'm gonna go Green. He's starting, so he's gonna get more minutes. In the preseason, when Pat Williams was out, it was also Green. So, but as I said in my quickie, if you're really gonna choose one, it's Derek Jones Jr.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Derek Jones Jr.
So Joey is asking, he's saying he's still waiting for my trade offer for his guards. Your guards played really well.
Invitational.
The Invitational. Your guards played really well that I couldn't find a good, a fair deal that I want. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Okay, there's a lot. There's a few more. Okay, we'll just finish off these set. Browsing waiver wire. Looking for a power forward center, LMA, Blake Griffin, Portis, and or Boucher, 12 team. I think it's between Boucher or Portis.
Yes. Yes. I think Boucher, until Siakam comes back, I think his minutes went back to 15 to 18 minutes, not 5 minutes. If it's 15 to 18 minutes, he can hold value.
I think
in 12
just
team
pick
leagues.
Boucher for the upside.
Yes.
It's going to be harder to get him when everyone will be watching what Boucher does, right? Portis is not really a popular player to own.
Boucher.
Even in a 14-team league, I've seen a lot of Bobby Portis in the waiver wire, so that just tells me that he's really not being liked by the managers.
Until Boucher becomes a DNP or a 3, 4, 5 minutes per game player, he is worth rostering, in my opinion.
Yeah. Christian Wood, safe to hold till end of season or sell high?
Who knows? I don't know if they're gonna
if you can sell then.
In general, if you can sell high on Christian Wood.
Yeah.
That's what I think. I have no Christian Wood this year, and that's one of the reasons why. But maybe you say I'm overthinking it, but I just don't want the risk.
Yeah.
Just don't want the risk.
Rock Bogrick is watching from Slovenia. TQ is watching. Elijah Olivares from Canada is watching. Paul Grimbao is watching. JJ Kapili. Planning to trade KP, who's worth the risk? Zion, Ben, or Irving? Oh, don't do it. Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. Don't do it, guys. That's too high. That's too high for those three.
If you really want to do it, I'm gonna go Zion. Just because, he's
the process.
He's bound to play. I mean he's the only one who's sure to play. Yeah. I'm assuming.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
If he's healthy, he will play. The other two, who knows?
But man, have you seen him?
Yes. But I'm just answering the question. They only had 3 options. And if he wants to do it, then go. Do it. But
who can I get for Turner and or
Miles?
Holiday? Maybe Miles or Drew.
Who can he get for Miles and Drew?
You can't get much from Drew now because he's injured, right? So you just have to wait for him to play first. Miles depends on what you need. Miles, I think, is always been a needs type of player. Like if I need blocks, I'll look for Miles, right? So look for the team that needs Miles and try to get someone whose stats you need.
Again, if you can get Richaun Holmes for Miles, do it. And then it's big for big, but you can say, Miles has more blocks.
Yep.
You need blocks. Again, so get him blocks.
When you trade, guys, it's need for need. It's not just you throw out a name and that's it.
Yeah.
Right? It's not like that. We can throw out names here, but if you don't need the stats of those players, then that might hurt your team more than it helps you.
Tobias is another player for Miles Turner. You can aim for OG and Anunoby is another player. And Middleton might be too high. I think Middleton is too high for Miles. But that can work if the owner is really desperate for blocks. He might agree to that. So but generally he's around higher than Miles Turner.
Yeah, Jomai Santos
think.
is watching, and we have last two he has Middleton, Tatum, and PG. I need a point guard or a center. Who should I trade among the three? Middleton, Tatum, and Paul George.
Don't trade Paul George.
If
Well,
you need a point guard, then that means you need some assists there, some steals, right?
trade Middleton. Trade
Yeah.
Middleton. Well, I mean, he's
He has
obviously the lowest rank.
Yeah,
but
he has the
also
lowest rank. He has the most mileage during the off season.
and also there are point guards that are gettable in the range, like Chris Paul.
Yeah.
And even Drew, when Drew comes back and you see that Drew is already healthy, you can do that Middleton for Drew trade. And even right now, maybe LaMelo could be had if the owner of LaMelo, is selling him low.
Because the Tatum, Paul George range, the point guards there are Trae Young, right? Trae Young or maybe James Harden. Too high.
Well, if you can get Harden, that's okay. But I doubt
for
it.
Harden.
It's really just Trae Young. I think if you're trading Tatum, it's Trae Young.
Yeah.
Right? So I think Trae is a little lower. So I think you might lose a little bit of value there. Instead of, let's say, Middleton, you have a lot more options. Chris Paul, Donovan, LaMelo. So I think you will be better off in that situation.
Yeah, and last question here is thoughts on CP3 and JJJ. We talked about JJJ already. Maybe CP3.
CP3 is CP3. I think he is what he is last year. He's gonna be solid as long as he doesn't get injured. He's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. Assists, low turnover, steals. Boring, but you get what he always does.
Yep. If you're worried about health and him being old, well, it's always a worry, but no one really knows, right? No one really knows. Last question for Marcos Langlois. I think he's from the US. He said he won't be joining the live, but he's an avid listener. So he needs to get someone from the waiver. Players are RJ Barrett, Kuzma, Schroeder, Sadiq Bey. If you have a name you like, then just let me know. Rubio, Cole Anthony, Barton, Duarte, Gary Trent Jr., Desmond Bain.
Well, I have a lot of players I like there. But okay.
Okay, so if you need, so who are the players you like? You like Barrett? No.
I like.
It's an 8-team league, so it's really.
It's an 8-team league.
Yeah.
8-team league. Barrett definitely is out for me there. Maybe Barton.
I think in an 8-team, maybe Kuzma is a stream. Schroeder is a stream. Sadiq Bey maybe is a stream.
Sadiq Bey I like. But 8-team, let's say times 12, 96 to 108 players. Sadiq Bey is maybe just borderline there.
Yeah.
So I don't know what he needs. If he needs assists, I would even go Rubio. Rubio is okay even in an 8-team league because if that's what you need at that point, right? But if you're talking about just in general the value there, I would go with Barton and Bain.
Yep.
Overall,
I like Bain there.
Yeah, Barton or Bain.
In an 8-team league, he shouldn't even be there.
Well, he was
the way he's playing now. The way he's
playing. But he was a waiver guy.
I could understand he shouldn't be drafted in an 8-team league. But
yes,
the way he's playing now, he should be picked up already. And the player he's dropping is Nickeil Alexander-Walker.
Okay, why? I don't know, but anyway,
maybe because of the Josh Hart situation.
Okay, but Nickeil and the other players he mentioned, they're almost the same. Maybe the field goal is bad. So if the field goal is bad, Cole Anthony is out. So I guess Bain to improve your field goal.
Just Bain.
Barton is okay also. So maybe those two players.
Yep. All right. So yeah, that's it for our live quickie. It's a long quickie, long live session. We always do long live sessions. An hour and a half. I think we usually do an hour and a half here. But next week we'll still do another live session. And this live session serves as our quickie for today on a Sunday. Tomorrow is Judgment Day. So good luck, guys, and hope you win tomorrow's leagues, tomorrow's matchups. And we'll see you again tomorrow, guys. Bye.